think there's a breaking news and
Breaking
somebody
news,
wanted
please. There's a
to
breaking
give us
news, breaking news, breaking news.
a
Please,
quick
breaking
one.
news.
So
Yes.
yeah, break it so that we
Quick
can
one.
go home.
So basically, what's trending now? A 14-year-old, well, a girl claims that there's this, I think, Instagram celebrity, Justin UG.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he took advantage of her at 14, and now the sad thing is, these people had anal sex. So I'm like 14. I'm sorry, I'm almost a certain age, and they have not crossed my mind. So I don't know what a 14-year-old is doing. But the point is, this guy took advantage of her. So let me even forget anal sex at 14. As teenagers, crazy.
Wait, let me clarify really quickly. So the issue is the issue that there was a forced situation, or the issue that they thought they were dating or something and then they had sex? So is that more of a statutory rape issue versus like a
exactly.
okay.
So that's what people are saying: statutory rape versus actual rape versus I guess I don't know.
Because she can't consent at 14 is
that's
the issue.
Yeah, so basically she's saying that he told her that he was young. So according to her, she thought he was like maybe 17, but he was actually 20. So
but
she
that
found out that
the question though. Sorry, what is the
Yeah.
age of consent in Nigeria? Because you can marry at 14, no? What's the age of consent?
So it might not really work in Nigeria.
The federal government, didn't they just want to start allowing underage married girls to vote?
Yeah.
So now we don't know age of consent now because
Of
in different places.
Yeah, because if you can marry at under 18, I'm wondering what because the issue is, I mean, I get the uproar, right? If the person is 14, like, you know, they shouldn't be dealing with anything. If I had my way, anything sexual, please. But I don't think that, oh, you're curious, but you're young. Okay. Right?
Oh, so wait. Sorry, he coerced her to have anal.
That's what she's saying. But the thing is, my own thing is rape now.
No, so what I'm sorry. Let me let the gist break out. Sorry.
No, you can't talk.
No, what I'm trying to, and not that anyone is better, but I think it's two things are happening here. One is that, you know, maybe he lured her into something and then forced himself on her, right? I think what is in this case though is that while he knew her age, he formed that he was much younger. So in her mind, I'm dating a colleague of mine or a peer of mine, and in that dating stage, we had sex. Right. So what the backlash now seems to be is that you knew her age. So even though she gave her consent in the sense that you did not force yourself on her, but in that you knew her age and you were above 18 at that point in time. So depending on what the age of consent is in Nigeria, number one, you may have committed a crime. Now we don't know what the age of consent is in Nigeria. That's the first issue.
That's the first
Second issue that I think he will still have a case to answer is the idea that you groom young girls. That because as you said, Effie, at our ages, it hasn't even crossed our mind. You get what I'm saying? But as a young, impressionable 14-year-old, right, getting, you know, your first male attention, you'll be up to do anything that he says you should do, if that makes sense, versus a woman that has her own mind. So I think it's that grooming of when men intentionally go for much younger girls so that they can control them. So that's where I think his issue is between that control of a much younger girl, because a girl of your age would not have agreed to the same thing. And the second issue also being that depending on what the age of consent is in Nigeria, her consent was null and void because of her age. That's the two. So,
can I just say, like this statutory rape, I feel like I don't like we're saying what's the age of consent? Because at the end of the day, teenager guy, let's say he was 20, maybe he was just a year or a couple of months into his 20s. I'm not even trying to say he was not, but my problem with this girl is okay. Now you know that, or you feel you were taken, because I think what she's saying is that she tried to contact him, he blocked her. Again, this is my thing. If you're a woman and you have sex with a man, whether you're 14 or 12 or 30, if somebody blocks you because you had sex with them and the person didn't talk to you and you were catching feelings, why would you come and scream rape or scream whatever kind of, oh, he took advantage of me, when you knew what you were doing? Maybe you were not, maybe he shouldn't have, but then, like, even in this boy's, he was still a small boy now, was 20. Like, I don't know, I'm not trying to support anybody.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but he lied. But I'm just saying, like, okay, if he had picked up your call and, you know, was telling you sweet words, will you come out and say, oh, he did this to me at 14? Because a lot of these things are going on.
I
these
see your
things are going
point.
on in schools. Like even I know a situation where an 11-year-old girl was having sex with a 16-year-old boy. So it's like it's 5 years, 14, 20, 6 years. Like, I just if it's not against the law, then it's nothing. So we don't know the Nigerian
That's why
system.
I brought in the age of because if I'm
consent.
looking at it from a purely legal standpoint, if she was,
Yeah.
if I, because I don't know what our age of consent is in Nigeria.
Constant.
If
Yeah.
she is, and I'm afraid that it may be less than 18 because of our underage
Yeah.
marriage
It probably
laws.
will.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
So
Yeah.
if that's the case, then from a legal standpoint, maybe there's no case there. Now, to your point, Effie, and I feel like it's dicey because I understand, like, so, like, let's say for
Because now
example,
he's
if it
doing well
was
in life, and you choose to now come and like, why all these years? This is now you're knowing he was 23. Seriously, and she's saying that
because
it was even a female friend. Come on now. I mean,
because
women, we can do
except
better.
for the age, it seems like it was a consensual
Yeah, it was
thing.
consensual. It's just that he blocked her, and she's now, he blocked her for 3 years, according to her, and she's, it's like a woman scorned now. So let me cuckoo mess you up.
I mean, that may have some flavor here, but this is why I go back to the guy, like we're saying, even in the Alaska OB thing,
You should know
right?
better.
You have more to lose here. So
Yeah.
and maybe at 20, 'cause I don't know how old he is now. Maybe there was not as much. I mean, I can see how
He
maybe he didn't
wasn't
know
popular
better,
then,
but
according to.
I feel like, again, as a guy, these are the downsides, right? In the sense that
Wait.
you have a lot to lose. So number one, if she told you that she was 14, and you lying that you were less than 20, I think is what his age was at the time, shows some intent to do something that is not right.
Yeah.
That I'm saying, because if I told her 20, would she have been as willing to move with you?
Do this. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, the alleged lies that he told about his age is also
But then
indicative of
what
malicious
yeah,
intent.
but what she said is just sad
This thing
that
is sad.
I mean,
unfortunately,
while the girl may be a bit vindictive, I think it's a few things,
that's what I'm
right?
saying.
At
Yeah.
14, if you are a guy, just to be on the safe side, if the girl is
Yeah,
under
avoid it.
18, avoid,
Yeah.
like just
Why are
avoid
you
it.
even going to that side when
Avoid,
there
because
are your
I
age
because I
mates
get
there?
what you're saying, that like girls at that age probably think they know what they are doing by
Yeah, they
consenting
know
or
what
Mm,
they're doing.
agreeing to things like that. So
Yeah.
even beyond the legal or non-legal age of consent,
Mm-hmm.
I think that our under 18 girls and guys should not be having sex, just because I feel
Yeah.
like they don't have the maturity to deal with it. So
handle the
Handle.
if
yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I feel like, to save yourself the stress, if she's under 18, don't.
Just.
Okay, so I'm reading. No, so from what I'm reading, FA, he told her that
Mm-hmm.
that he was younger, which made her so. Okay, so let me finish reading it first, so that I can give the um house party. Mm,
Okay, it's true. You thought he was younger, but he was actually
yeah.
20. Mm-hmm.
So even the anal sex was just, I feel like
He
our
didn't
problem
want
in
to
this
have.
country. She didn't
I
want to
said,
have like real, like, I guess, real sex. So
She's
there are
the
different
virgin
anal
kinds
was
of
the
herself.
virgin.
yeah. So the anal was the Jesus.
Oh wow.
I don't even know, like, I'm sorry to say, maybe I'm not sexually advanced fully, but then, I mean, if when you've not had like proper sex,
Why would
for
you
you
want
to
to?
digress or be progressed to anal, fam, even the ones that have been on a regular, steady, normal sexual
Mhm.
level have not gone to that
As
backside yet.
in,
And you want to go there and
oh,
No, but it's for the
wow.
fear of being this as in, like, the virginity. The virginity is the key.
but
Is
sure,
the
I said
key
it that
issue.
time. There are different kinds of virgins. You guys were laughing.
Exactly. And I know it's yeah. Now I won't say
Okay,
what I
apparently
wanted to
I'm
say.
seeing someone tweet that the age of consent is 18. So how are
It's
14-year-olds
18.
getting married? Unless the
I
North has,
don't know. How are 14-year
you
olds? How are they debating for them to be
like,
voting? What is
ah,
happening? Just for personal gain.
this
Eh?
boy, he needs to get a good lawyer because kids don't start.
Okay, so I'm trying to. Okay, so let me say, because I'm trying to be careful before I'm accused of supporting a rapist. What it seems like is that they met at a party. Now, you know, I guess it's common for, under 16-year-olds even to want to go to
Yeah.
parties and behave like adults, right? So they went to a party that he was throwing, and I guess his initial contact with her was very sexual. He sent her like a dick pic.
Yeah.
Um,
Crazy.
and when she asked about his age prior to that, he was vague about it. Because he said again, like, he was vague about it, and so she like put him at bay because of that. But then
Yeah.
when he now told her that, oh, he's actually really like he's 16 going on 17, and that is what made her comfortable that, okay, that one, even at 14, she's willing to mess around and willing to do it with her, what she considers to be a peer group of hers, and not an older guy. And so that they were messing around, that she was attracted to him, and they so I guess the parties that they threw are, where they met up,
Wow.
or whatever. And so on one of the parties, they started making out upstairs somewhere. I think it was a house party, and then he wanted to have sex, and she hadn't had sex before, and so they agreed on having anal sex, which I think was just a thing to preserve her virginity, despite the fact that they're having sex.
Yeah.
So she's crying out now, she says, because when he celebrated or I think maybe after the incident, he started blocking her on social media and acting like he didn't know her, and that
Yeah.
she just struck it up to the, to the game. And then when she found out, I guess this year, that he just turned 23, she did her maths and realized that he was 20 at the time that, he claimed he was 16 going on 17. And then she put what I think is a Snapchat chat section, I guess, with him
Yeah.
now unblocking. I think she told a friend of his, and the friend confronted him, so he now unblocked her to now blast her.
Also,
um
there's a developing story. Somebody was, I don't know if you guys know that cute Zabiola or something. I think he's a comedian also on Instagram. One
yeah.
young, well, young auntie is now saying that, well, she didn't say rape, but she's saying, like, this is my problem with this girl too, even though this one is 14, but she's saying that she thought she was in a relationship with him, that she told him that she didn't want to have sex, and he was like, oh, I love you, Kiniko, the usual stuff. So auntie's problem now is that uncle, during their sexual rendezvous, put something, let me not be explicit, or basically poured something in her mouth. So auntie is feeling, rejected and insulted, and then she's trying to call him out. So people are like what? Like, did he rape you? Like, why? So I'm just like, I feel like when women feel like they are not where they think they are in the mind of a man, it's easy for us to say, oh, he did this to me, or he took advantage of me. And it's like, I mean, at 14, you don't really know. You think you know, unfortunately, but you don't. But I'm just saying, is there also a case for that, where you feel like someone used you? Do you get what I'm saying? And then you're like, okay, since
Yeah.
so that's my thing too. Because okay, someone had sex with you and did whatever. You could have said no, but you thought you were in love, and then person stopped picking your calls, and then all of a sudden you want to call him out. Like, I don't know. Where
Yeah.
do we draw that in?
No, and if I'm going to be very honest, I'm not trying to respond because of like social media. I think that there is an air of, she was a bit scorned by the way that he just slept with
Yeah.
her and
So I'm thinking to an
dumped
extent.
her. Yeah,
Yeah.
and she tried to move on from it, but I think even him now coming to fame now, he's now
Yes.
more in your
It's
face, if that
hard.
makes sense. Because she's
Yeah.
basically saying that, oh, so you can even unblock me, because
Yeah.
I've been trying to get at you for a long time and you didn't even answer me. And then now that I've told one person about it, you're now, trying to come
Yeah.
to me. So for me, I would say, so I think there's a bit of her being scorned here. But I think that I want to say a few things, but to focus on the guy.
Yeah.
One thing, the fact that you think it's appropriate to just enter someone's DM with like a dick pic,
It's
we
ridiculous.
need to do better with how we train our boys around like the whole sex, like how you approach women and the whole sexual
Yeah.
thing. I mean, it's disrespectful to enter into my DM with a dick
Yeah.
pic. Like that's just disrespectful to me. So for
At any
me,
age. Oh, God.
at any age, for me that was again a first thing. Maybe he didn't know better. Maybe he didn't know
As
better,
a
but
20-year-old small boy too, sure, to an
no,
extent.
no, as in because we have a culture of rape in Nigeria. So
True.
for him, and it's just now that we're creating awareness of what is inappropriate, right? And because this girl wasn't refusing, so I think that's where it gets blurry. She wasn't
Mm,
refusing sex with you. Does that make sense,
exactly.
right? So all of that could be covered in our sex or rape or assault culture, where he felt like he didn't do anything wrong, and now that we're putting more awareness behind it, that you know maybe there's more awareness that this is an inappropriate thing to do. So for me, I
Yeah.
feel like that's where I struggle with this, that maybe you didn't know better. But again, many guys who have done like outright rape, right, could also claim
Mm,
that they didn't know that it was a big deal, right?
yeah.
So I think where I would stand if I want to take a stance, that while she has an element of being scorned, once you're over
Mm,
18, you're an adult, point blank and
yeah.
simple. You have to take
Yeah.
responsibility for your behavior and for your actions. And in that
Mm-hmm.
case, that means that you were the adult in the room here, and that you didn't know the Nigerian age of consent is not anybody's problem but your own personal problem. And then
Mm-hmm.
two, maybe less a legal issue and more of a moral issue. Men tend
Mm,
to go for women that they think they can control, and age is
exactly.
typically an indication of who you think
And
you can
naive
control.
women
Yeah,
also.
naive, exactly, which is tied to
Yeah.
age in a sense. So would a 20-year-old girl, right, if she was willing to mess
Yeah.
around with you, would she have
Yeah.
considered to anal sex in exchange for not having real, or would she have gotten up and left at that instance, right?
Yeah.
Which is why you went for a 14-year-old who feels honored, right,
Mm-hmm.
to be getting an older guy's attention.
Yeah. Attention.
And if you're throwing parties at whether you claim that they are 16, 17, or 20, you're
Mm,
probably and if this is a girl that likes to go out, or she's curious about having a social life,
yeah.
etc., you're probably a big deal in her eyes,
Yeah.
right? So for me, there's a bit of taking advantage of your position, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
simply because you're above 18 in that
Oh,
scenario. So
yeah.
guys, it's just sex. Like, do better. Like
Honestly,
like
it's
like
not that deep. Oh,
it's just sex. Like the lens that you people go to, the things that you put,
oh,
and
honestly.
even the idea also, the other layer of disrespect, which maybe to an extent you deserve this, is
Mm,
that a naive girl give herself to you. Clearly, if she's doing anal sex versus vaginal sex, you know that
mm,
she's not experienced, that she's making a sacrifice for you, because she said that
yeah.
I've not had sex before. Why will you
Mm-hmm.
now ghost her? You know, after the fact. As in, you get what I'm saying? It's like just
Yeah.
like, to me, that way, like, the evilness comes in. It's like, why would you go like, why didn't you say, okay, it seems like you because maybe there are 14-year-old girls that maybe, not that it's okay to be dealing with 14-year-old girls, but maybe there are 14-year-old girls who have done everything before, and so this is not a big
Yeah.
deal for. But
Big
you
deal
knew
for
that
them.
that it was a big deal for
Choose,
her,
choose.
and then you now still
Yeah.
ghosted her. So it's like, you also are evil in how you operate, and maybe this is what you deserve for, sorry that maybe that you didn't know better, but like, maybe this
Mm-hmm.
is not all the way on undeserved, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I mean, as long as people are saying 18 is the legal age, then he's in trouble. So I wish
Yeah.
him luck. Yeah.
But no, but me, even beyond that, the fact that, and even if the girl was of age, a
Yeah.
girl hasn't had sex before, and she's making
Mm,
this sacrifice or whatever for you. If you know that this is not a long, like, by now, no guy, even if you are 20 or 16, cannot can no guy can claim with all sense of responsibility that a girl is sleeping with you without the thought of, does she want more from me? Like, no guy
yeah.
can claim that is a, like, that like, the norm, given how our culture is set up, is for a girl to want more after sex. So you
Mm,
can't claim that you didn't even at 16, that, right?
yeah.
So if you know that you didn't have plans for her beyond that, why allow her go all the way and then ghost her? So for me,
Mm,
I say, you don't get to control how somebody deals with their hurts, right?
mm,
and I think we find that in the whole Debanj story, is
Yeah,
that you don't get
yeah,
to control how someone deals with hurt, right? You can only control what you do. So you don't
yeah.
inflict the hurt in the first place to avoid them having ammunition, you know, against you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other girl for the cute Abiola guy. So what is she like? Is she on her
She
age or what is her?
she said, I think she said her own happened at 14 also.
Ah,
So I don't know. That's what she's claiming. But I mean, I saw her picture. She doesn't look like. I don't know when this happened because Abiola also seems young. So I don't know. Her story is not. Let's see if it will pop up. But I think she was replying someone, and she just said, I think that was also her first time. They had sex. Whatever in her mouth. Kiniko, he didn't talk to her. But prior to that, like he made her feel like I love you. Like we'll date, and stuff. So I don't know. But if I find it, I'll send it to you guys. Yeah. I just saw it, but I didn't really click on. I just read the story and moved on because I was
I
like, I
don't
don't, because nobody understands what she's saying. Basically, it's like, is this, people can just say anything now. It depends on what picks up.
like my own is that like I just feel like guys, it's just sex. So the risks that they are willing to take going on that
Mm.
age, telling lies,
Uh,
it's just sex. Like like Eka, you've been quite quiet on this topic. Do you want to
What
sign us out?
what should I say? I don't know what to say again. I'm weak. I'm actually weak because in general, these rape allegations are coming every minute.
mm-hmm.
Nowadays, people are doing funny things. You would so to even give birth to a child now, somebody will be scared because this
Mm-hmm.
one now 14, this one will say 12, this one will say bah. Why would a boy lie about his age just to sleep with a 14-year-old? Eh?
Yeah.
Right. Which is
Why?
where
Like,
the malice
that's my
comes in.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my problem. You're lying that you're 14 just to sleep with a girl. You're a 20-year-old guy. There are 20-year-old girls willing to experiment with you, be it anal, be it whatever, oral, whatever. Why do people, as you said, that's why I didn't even talk, because why do people go through lengths to do a thing that later now you'll be doing it till you tire? What is it? What is the crave for sex so much that it causes rape? Is this control,
Mm-hmm.
power, and all this nonsense? Okay, now, whatever we want to say now, see where it has led to. This is where we are now. So I don't know what to say. That the only thing I can say is may God just help us, because when they are stealing palliative on one side, they are raping one side, they are looking for nin one side. Oh God. 2020 has been a year.
And
I'm sweating. Ah, God.
I would say this, right? Because I feel like there's this idea, and I say it as someone who was more conservative as a teenager, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
there's this idea that okay, young people want to experiment. I want to, that they are curious. I'm like, there are consequences for every action.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like there
That's
are
the thing. You
consequences.
have to
So
accept your
like
mistake.
we can't let it be
Choose
a
to.
you're young and you're curious. There are
Yeah.
consequences. Like this guy right now probably thought he was young and dumb. That probably
Yeah.
what he claimed, but
He
this is
has
where you are right
forgotten
now.
Yeah.
about the situation.
Your
No.
career that you were just
Now,
trying to build up
I
is
didn't even
probably
know
going
who
to
the
go
guy was.
down.
And the
No
thing is,
brand wants
these
to touch you
things,
right now.
exactly, and these things happen. Like there are many 15-year-old, 14-year-old girls dating. Even I'm not going to lie, me at some point. So let me not go deep into my story, but I'm like, it depends. Like for me, it's like you shouldn't be. Like first of all, 14. Like there's a reason why they tell you to wait, because when you do what you're not supposed to do, then it depends on how do you deal with it. In some
Hmm.
cases, some people become crazy and they start blaming whoever is around. In some cases, you're like, I chose to do it, so I'm going to take it. So
Bear
whatever
my
comes,
cross.
like I'm
Yeah.
chesting it. Exactly. It happens. 14, 20 is not a big deal at all. I've seen 15, 25. So it's
15.
not,
Wow.
I have, like, it's not even a big deal. Because some these days, if you see a 14-year-old, you think she's 20. Back then, too, there were
Even
a
when
few
you
girls.
say, even when you say 15, 25, I'm even wondering. I've seen even less self, maybe 15,
Yeah, I've seen 14,
30. Ah,
27. 14,
ah.
27.
But
So it's like,
it may not be
Boyfriend,
a
girlfriend.
it may not be a big deal, but I go back to the person who's over 18. It is a big
yeah,
deal for you by default.
legally.
Or you are the
Mm-hmm.
adult in the room. And then
That's
number
the thing.
two, when there's this kind of age gap, there's typically an idea of control. or
Control,
abuse of
definitely.
power. And that's where, to me, I think that there's the moral, if not the legal, there's the moral element in that. A girl your age, because maybe at 25 you have nothing going for you.
For
You get
you,
Mm,
that's
what I'm
really
saying?
it.
You are
Yeah.
jobless, your mates are looking for jobs. The
Yes.
small recharge card that you can give a secondary school girl is making her
You
feel
take it.
important.
Yeah.
mm,
Excited.
Your uni girls, this is nothing to them. So you didn't go
Yeah.
for your age mates
No, men
simply
like
because
that
you
are
are inadequate
questionable.
or you feel inadequate.
Yeah.
So for me, there's a
Exactly.
an abuse of power that's involved in this. Then
Yeah.
one again, you are if you are an 18-year-old girl dating a 14-year-old boy, you are the
Mm.
adults also in the room.
Yeah.
So the buck stops with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can accept the idea that okay, 18, 19, 20, especially without the wokeness of rape culture that we have today, I can
Mm-hmm.
see how many things are considered to be okay or not big deals.
Yeah.
But you are the adults in the room.
You're
There are
the adults. That's the
consequences for your
thing.
decisions. Like, but what happened to turn 18? Forgetting
Yeah.
that is also the age of responsibility.
And also let me not lie. The ones I know, even including my own, I know that people lied about their ages. Like 14-year-olds were saying I'm 18. So because
yes,
they know that if they said they were 14, the guy will not. But it's like
yes,
you look old, you're mature, your body is. So nobody
yes,
would even believe. And I know of one situation where the girl, after exposing her age, the guy had to break things off because he's like, it's not like this doesn't make sense. So I'm like,
Right.
this guy knew this girl was 14. So
no,
in
he
his own
knew, he
case,
asked.
exactly. Even the approach, like, how do you send a picture to a 14-year-old girl at 20? Come on, like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, like, even like the whole I feel like this whole like we need to like I don't know where guys get their sex education from, but at least mothers tell girls when they are when they start their period that
Exactly.
if they touch you, you get pregnant. Guys get no
Fathers
like
need to
how
do
do you
more.
approach a woman? Like what is respectful? Like and maybe that's the issue. We teach so many things around those don't do the mechanics of sex that we forget about
Mm,
what is like it is at any age sending me a dick pic as our first real
it's
conversation
nonsense.
it's not a
Ah,
respectful thing. But homegirl didn't even think of it in that
yeah,
yeah, like in that manner that this is a disrespectful um
yeah.
That's what I wanted to say,
thing.
that you're talking from your own generation. This generation of today now, like they're hitting things off in a different manner.
As in,
Sexy, I mean, dick pic comes, boob pic goes. Let's
as
hook
in,
up, let's meet. They hook up, they finish, they move.
and that's
That's
it.
what is happening now. Hey, these days, I don't know. Maybe because I'm old though, I don't understand
Nowadays, so
again.
maybe bikini picture was a big deal. You send bikini
You're
picture,
doing bikini. By the time you wear short skirts, what are you talking
as
bikini?
in,
Short
exactly.
skirts. Oh God. See, these days there are so many things happening, and it's so sad. And it's a shame that the girl just found out that this guy, like, that is why, unfortunately, if you told that girl at that time she was 14, now that don't go to this party, don't
She won't
look at
listen
this
now.
boy,
She'll
she
say
won't listen. It's
yeah,
now that you start thinking. And unfortunately,
you
no
took
matter how we
advantage.
yeah no matter how we sit down and talk here, they will not listen. Me, when I was younger, did I listen? I
Exactly.
didn't understand. In my head, I was thinking, these ones, they don't understand what I
They don't
understand.
understand.
They don't know that me, I understand what I'm
But
doing. So
isn't this where parenting comes in? Because I don't like we're in the we're woke now, right? So
mm,
your kid going to a house party that you have no idea about is I guess okay, right?
Mm.
But should we should a 14-year-old be in this kind of a party? Like they got
That,
where were her
yeah.
parents? Where were her
okay, so the question is, right, are you saying you will not allow your 14-year-old child go to a house party if it is a house party of her friend, for example?
People even lie for these things. Let's even be
Or
honest.
not knowing that in that her friend's party, who is also 14 or 15-year old,
They're
the
older.
friend has a senior brother who might
Yeah.
come with his senior friends, and not that the senior brother knew that the friend will now go like, what I'm trying to say is that I personally
Only so
don't.
much a parent can
There's
do.
so much you can do. I
yeah,
would
but
train.
But
I would train if my father or mother ever told me not to go to a party. Why? Because
yeah.
there's the possibility of an idiot be doing something. Then that is caging the child to the point where by the time they come out now. They'll act like Covenant Uni
But
students.
no,
Pa,
but
pa, pa, pa.
no, but can I say
Can I also
something?
say you don't even need
It's
to go
one
to a
thing.
party, oh.
No, let,
In
let,
my
let,
own
That's
let's
case,
another
I
thing.
didn't go
In
to
the
any party.
yard,
Nobody let
in
me
the
go to
yard,
party, and I
in
still
the
met
yard,
somebody.
there's a
So
brother
you
there
don't
that
have
will
to
be
go to
looking at
party.
you. That's the
like
thing.
okay, okay, but can I address the party one though? In the sense
Mm-hmm.
that if one thing, if okay, let's say okay, we all went to the same high school,
Yeah.
right? So let's say F is doing a birthday or some sort of party, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, mommy, FA, which you know about, is doing a
Mm-hmm.
party at her house, which you know
Yep.
about,
Yep.
right? So as a parent, I'm comfortable that okay, at least if his parents are going to be in the vicinity, you know, of this house
To monitor.
party to monitor
Yeah.
in some ways. Another thing I think my parents did sometimes was okay, maybe they will send a sharp, maybe like an older
Definitely to go with
Yes.
you.
Yes.
cousin to go
Yes.
with you that
Yes.
okay, since
Yes.
I'm too uncool, Abi, cousin, which I think
Mhm.
you understand my boundaries, but you sort of,
Mhm.
get their own needs to be cool. That's
Mm-hmm.
fine. Go and oversee. But to me, this party seems like a house that the parents did not was not aware
Yeah, seems
Mm.
like.
of.
And who
As in,
knows the celebrant?
yeah,
Is the celebrant an older
exactly.
person?
Can I just
Because
say, me? Okay, don't worry,
yeah, no,
finish
no,
it.
go on, go on.
Okay, for me, I feel like as kids, like I said, teenagers are crazy. We're running high on hormones, all these puberty, everything. For me, if I've trained my child in a way that I know I've said, look, oh, you can't do this, you should do this, what will happen? And at 14, you choose that you want to have sex. If you want to be an adult at 14, good luck. Like, that's what I would tell my child. Like, good luck. That's what I'm saying. Like, people need, it's true, because at 14, if you don't
No,
want to listen to parents, no, I'm not going to let my hands off you, but I'm just going to, like, when whatever happens, I will have a
mm,
sit down with you and say, okay, how do you feel? Like, is this something you can handle? Because you're too young to handle this. That's why I said don't do this. So it's like at
mm,
14, if you choose to start having sex at 14, whether anal sex, vagina, whatever, like, oh, sorry, and I want for you. But anyways, if if you just start having sex at 14, you need to know the consequences. And if you're not ready to deal with it, then, because this girl, obviously, I mean, and see, some people will be like, oh, whatever happened. This happens a lot. But it's like, can you deal with it? And if you can't, don't. And if
But
you try it once, I
but
don't think
can I
there's
explore? Because it seems like, and I don't know the right answer here, but is there a responsible, like, and not for it, like, let's even assume that the guy in this case was like 15, right? So let's
mm.
let's, let's take out the age issue,
20 year.
right? Like, can a 14-year, like, is this even something that a 14-year-old should be saying that okay, if I choose to have sex, I need to be able to deal, like,
That's the thing.
can we blame, and let me use the word careful, like, can we, because if an adult girl tells my girl, you chose to have sex, it might
Yeah.
end badly,
Mm,
but sorry, but we move, right?
mm.
Can a 14-year-old girl, or should a 14-year-old
Should.
girl get, can you tell her that, hey, I told you not to do this,
Mm.
because you're not ready, and
I
if you
think
do,
mm.
like, can we blame you, or do we blame others? Again, let's take out the age. Is a fellow 14-year-old boy, right?
That's the thing. If it's a fellow 14-year-old, are we going to blame others? You're going to
That
blame yourself.
yeah, that I'm saying. So,
That's,
like, do we blame the kid who wants to be curious beyond what they've been told not to do?
yeah. Because there's a reason. That's why at 14 they tell you your actions have consequences. So if you're not ready to deal with those consequences, don't even try it.
And
Or
where
you
I
need
would,
to so people get therapy self. Like if
yes,
it doesn't have to be rape. So
where I will agree with Lori is, where have you been told of the consequences? Which is
yeah.
where a lot of parents fail. They
Mm.
would just say, "Don't do. If not, you'll be pregnant." But they don't give you, which is why
The
she won't do in
whole
front. She'll do at the
yeah,
back. It's best
yeah.
to be honest. It's hard because this is somebody that was your child that is growing up, and the Nigerian culture doesn't help in the fact that sit your child down and tell her, "See, this is what this A is B, B is C. This is what life is," so that they
Mm,
don't get curious. If not, by the time they start getting curious and enter into the hands of a manipulative boy, whether 15 or 20 or 35, this is where they find themselves hurt and destroyed in the back region if it was not controllable. But the issue I have here is that we cannot now say if it was a 15-year-old, you can't blame anybody. You have to say,
Yeah,
hey, see what you did. You see what you
yeah.
did. This is the consequence. When a 16-year-old brings a child pregnancy to the house, what
Yeah.
happens? Do they go and blame anybody for
You
opening her leg
exactly is
for her?
yourself.
That's the problem. So unfortunately, it is sad. And in this
I think
case,
in yeah.
the man was 20 and he lied, and then they were. If I don't even know
So to
this
me, it
life.
seems like if we take out the whole rape or the whole age issue, it seems like what we're saying is that if you've been because at 14, you can
You've
articulate
educated.
consequences, right?
Yeah,
So
Mm-hmm.
if you've been
yeah.
educated on
And you
pros
choose
and you choose to still go, then there are consequences
to
for your
deal with,
actions.
yeah, for your
Um,
actions.
yeah, which again, not say that if the consequence that comes out is a rape thing and it's your fault, no.
Yeah,
But it's just like if you have like some trauma or like like this guy for example now seems like he had ghosted you
yeah,
after the sex, right?
Mm.
And at
exactly.
14, maybe you're not as much. Even at an old age,
You're
big
not
girls
mature.
still
Exactly. That's what I
struggle
wanted to
Yes.
with
say.
that.
20 something,
Yeah,
like it still
so
hurts.
imagine being 14 and your first sex is met with a ghosting experience. You may not
Yeah,
have the mental to deal
to deal with it. And
with
that's why
it.
a lot of people, they will tell you, oh, like if they ask you what's your biggest regret, some people will say, I wish I waited till I was a bit older. Because you don't like
Yeah.
we
Yes.
don't understand, like sex is not just sex for women. I don't know about men, but for women it's not just sex. So it's better if you're older and you can make choices based on what you want. You know what you want.
Mm.
You have an idea of what you don't want, as opposed to, oh, let's just do it because I'm in love. It's not, love and sex are not the same thing, unfortunately.
And that I'm in love is not always I'm in love.
It's not always
I'm
exactly.
infatuated. I am in love. Yeah,
Or Konji
that's
just
just it.
caught me that time, so you are
That
there.
is it. There are many things, and it is when, and unfortunately, in this life, I would say, it is when you grow older that you
You
realize stupid
realize
things that you were doing
did
or thinking of when you were younger. It wasn't even so sensible, but you thought you were happening at that time, and your parents were uncool.
crazy.
And especially when you have a sibling that is younger, that you realize that, guy, I'm telling you this thing because I
I've done
know, but if you want to go down that line,
stuff.
that's all I can tell you. That's it. Hmm.
Right.
Mm, mm,
It is
mm.
well.
But again, I feel like maybe the person that we can blame is in the again. Let's take out the rape for a second. Is maybe the parents, right? Because one, did you educate, right? That's the first
But
question, and then
Olori, you're talking
two.
as if some kids are not. I mean, some kids are
There's coconut head though.
as
Ha.
in cocoa.
I've
No, but
experienced
I'm saying
coconut head
that
children.
no, but I'm
They've
saying
told them
that
consequence. Huh.
no, but I mean that as a parent, you have like to me. I don't think that a parent should die on the line, right? Do your
Mm,
part and leave the rest to God. Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yes.
So for me, if you've done your so to me as a parent, you have to do your part of educating.
yeah, you have
If
to
you do that
definitely.
part and the child still wants to, be for the streets, to Jesus be your glory. You have done your best, right? Number one. Number two, as a parent, your 14-year-old shouldn't be going to house parties on. To me, I can't like. To me, it's like block the hole that you can block. I said FA is doing a birthday party at her house for our fellow peers, right? Okay, my child can go there. I know FA, I know FA's parents, I know FA's house,
Mm,
right? My kid going to an undisclosed house and I'm aware of the
mm.
goal.
That's wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So to me, if you as a child now go above and beyond to now sneak,
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
maybe you're for the streets. But because I cannot come and keep myself, right? But as a parent, do your part.
Guys, in our school, there were people that were going clubbing at 14, 15. So
That's what I'm telling you.
no one is
That's
sharp
what
now.
I'm telling
Jehovah
you.
El Shaddai.
Olori, you're talking from a one angle. I'm telling you that there are people, like if there are 100 teenagers, 70 are for the streets. It's only 30 that are
No,
not.
and I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying that we should just
Parents
please
need
that
to,
as a parent,
yeah,
do
Until,
what you
yeah.
can. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm,
Block the holes you
all
can block.
the, yeah,
You
yeah,
got, you get what I'm saying? Not that I'm giving you driver to go
mm,
to 11:45.
mm,
That means that
of
means on my own
course.
sponsorship. It's
mm,
why you're in the club, potentially drinking on my
mm,
own sponsorship.
mm,
Because come to find out, many of these date rape issues don't happen when
Yeah,
I know Efe's mom and I go to, and I say okay, go to Efe's house for a party. No, it's typically in all this undisclosed. We don't know
location.
yeah,
the older boy who's throwing the party. That way these
yeah.
date rape things happen. It's not in a family house. Most I think or most it's not in someone's family house where the parents are upstairs. So please, parents, do what you can. I beg, do what you can.
Do what you can.
If the child
definitely.
still wants to do agidi and coconut head, to Jesus be your glory. You have done your best. It's true. And also, please, please, let's not leave the boys out in this education. Like dick pics is. I'm tired. Please, Happy New Year, guys.
Lori, this peak happened.
weak.
I'm trying to tell you that in this time now, there are boob pics being sent before dick pic is received.
Oh,
Don't
God.
talk about dick pic. We are seeing full vagina sent. Dick pic. Ask the celebrities. You know I'm linked to celebs. Have they been telling me what they are seeing with their eye?
God, Jesus.
From 14-year-olds that are claiming 18-year-old sheep. Good. This
life. Book itself is even small. Some people go to the main section.
To the main videography. Exactly. Porno.
May the Lord help us when our kids arrive. Because I really